Well, it's been about a week since Amazon MGM Studios announced that there is a new Stargate show coming. It's been greenlit. It's created by Martin Gero, who was a writer and producer on Stargate Atlantis. Very excited about this. There's a new energy and enthusiasm in the Stargate fan community. Hopefully you had a chance to join us for some of our live streams last week. If not, check those out on the channel. I want to talk about one specific thing in this video. We're going to have months to unpack what this show is going to be, but in the conversations that I've seen so far over the last week, there's a bit of a question over how does this show connect to what we've seen before, or how much does it connect? We know that it's not a reboot. The new show is not going to wipe away 17 seasons of canon, 354 episodes of lore that's built up the Stargate mythology. But I think it's also not quite right to call it a continuation. Let's talk about it. In our conversation last week, Martin Gero told Gateworld and Dial the Gate that he's not going to reset the show from scratch. It's not a reboot, but rather it's its own unique thing. This is a great decision on Amazon's part. This respects the fan community, as I said last week. It's also exactly what I would expect from Martin, right? Martin helped to build this world. He was on Stargate Atlantis for 5 years. He also did a little bit of work on Stargate Universe and Stargate SG-1. He's OG, so of course he would want to keep all these stories, character, the lore going. Now, in the days since the news broke, you might have seen the word reboot floating around out there, like in this Metro UK article. They took the word reboot out of their headline, which is good, but it still appears in the article. I wouldn't really worry about news outlets using the word reboot in this casual sense. It really just means that the production on the franchise is turning on again, is going to ramp up again, right? It's like rebooting your PC, not wiping the hard drive and reinstalling the operating system. But when Martin says it's not a reboot, I think he means something much more specific. It's not restarting the mythology from scratch, the discovery of the Stargate, etc. So we need to scrutinize Martin's language a little bit in this announcement video. He says this: it's a brand new chapter. It's its own unique chapter in the Stargate universe. The press release from Amazon MGM Studios also calls it a bold new chapter. And Amazon's Nick Pepper, who's their head of US television development, said that this new chapter, quote, honors the series' rich legacy while propelling it into an ambitious and emotionally resonant future. Now, because I was a part of Amazon's announcement, I need to stress first, right up front, I'm speculating here. I don't have any insider knowledge on this question. But when we look at Martin's language, that this is a new, unique chapter in the Stargate franchise, I think there's a couple things going on here. First of all, well, he means what he says, that it's not a reboot. The next Stargate series is going to be set in the same universe as Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Stargate Universe. All those things happened. The timeline is preserved, and any of those characters or those plot points could, in theory, be revisited again. I'm certainly hoping that we get to see some familiar faces, some cast members from the previous shows, at least pop up in a guest spot. But Martin also says that his show is its own unique chapter. To me, this emphasizes that this is a new story. Martin has his own story to tell within the canon Stargate universe that we know already. And that story is going to have its own new setting, new characters, a new team going through the gate. So let's not make any mistakes here. Martin is telling his own story in this world, but he's not continuing SG-1. This is not going to be SG-1 Season 11. It's not going to be Atlantis Season 6 or SGU Season 3. It's in the same universe as those stories, but I don't think he's bringing any of them back to finish up their stories. The story of Atlantis, the story of the city going back to the Pegasus Galaxy to continue the fight against the Wraith, that's Atlantis' story. And it's something different. The story of Destiny and its mission to discover the secret at the heart of the universe, the cosmic microwave background radiation, the fate of the crew that went into stasis at the end of the series. That's a different story, right? That show was created by Brad Wright and Rob Cooper. That's their story to finish. That's not what this new show is doing. So my conclusion is the new show is not a reboot. It's also not going to be a continuation either. Not in the sense that we're going to go back and pick up on those previous stories right where they left off and continue them forward. No, it's its own unique chapter. It's going to tell a new story with new characters. So it's time to level set our expectations. The fourth show won't be the continuing adventures of an aging SG-1. This is not going to be a brand new season of Atlantis, picking up where that show left off. It's not going to be Stargate Universe Season 3, as much as fans of that show are hungering for some resolution. The next Stargate is going to be its own thing. Martin Gero has a story to tell, and I for one can't wait for him to tell it. And because he's an OG creator, and respects the characters and the mythology so much, there really is every chance that we might get some answers, or at least some hints. So we might hear dialogue referencing the city of Atlantis being in the Pegasus Galaxy again. A character might talk about General Carter back at Homeworld Command. Or, who knows, David Blue could turn up in a guest spot as Eli Wallace, but in the course of that story, not launch into an extended exposition about what happened to Destiny, the crew that survived, the mystery at the heart of the universe. Again, that's somebody else's story to tell. That's an SGU story. And I hope that Amazon is thinking franchise here. I hope that if Martin's show is successful, there are going to be new opportunities to tell those stories in some way, shape, or form, to bring a bit more full resolution to what we were looking for at the end of SG-1, with the movie that was canceled, Stargate Revolution, with the end of Atlantis, with the city sitting outside San Francisco Bay. I think Atlantis belongs in the Pegasus Galaxy fighting the Wraith. And with the end of Stargate Universe and the fate of Destiny's crew still unknown. Right now, at this very early stage, that's more or less what I expect. Post a comment down below in a year or two and tell me how well this prediction has aged. They're not going to reboot the show, they're not going to clear away the mythology and start over from zero, but they're also not going to just pick up and continue the stories that were left on the table when Stargate Universe went off the air in 2011. And I think that's the way that it should be, to be honest. Because the new show, well, it's made for the fans. It's obviously, look at the way that Amazon has rolled out this news. They want the fans on board. They want to tell a Stargate story that is tonally like what we know and love. But they also have to appeal to new viewers too, don't they? We want a bigger tent. We want to grow Stargate's audience and Stargate's fan base. Because a bigger audience means more likelihood that we're going to get more Stargate projects in the future, and then maybe there's more hope that we'll get some conclusion to the story of Atlantis or the story of Stargate Universe. Well, that's what I think. I think our new show is probably going to end up not a reboot, but also not a direct continuation of certain storylines. A continuation of the universe, yes. Post your comments down below and let me know what you think about all this and which elements from Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe you'd like to see the new show pick up and extend a little bit, even if it's only in a passing comment in dialogue. Welcome again to everybody who's just found the channel, and a special big thanks to our channel members. Channel members here at Gate World get to see videos early, get your name in the credits, and generally support what we're doing here, making fan content for Stargate. If you're interested in learning more about channel membership and how you can support Gate World, click on the join button down below on a desktop browser. And a special big thanks to members who joined at the patron level: Benjamin Schrank, Martin Zokor, Nudist Publishing, Scoopy Joe, and ZXO. And Brett, I see you there, Brett. You joined after I recorded this. Thank you so much for being a patron. Guys, we're going to be covering new Stargate right on this channel, in and out every week until it gets here and beyond. Of course, we're going to cover the episodes when they're here. So subscribe to Gate World and enable alerts to make sure you don't miss a video. Look for the latest Stargate news and conversations over on our website at gateworld.net.